Good evening and welcome to Rajya Sabha News. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the headlines. Rajya Sabha passes bill to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act. Bill prescribes stricter action to people causing harm to healthcare workers. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan says there's been a dramatic decrease in violence against medical professionals after the offence was made non-bailable and cognizable. Upper House passes Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code's Second Amendment Bill 2020. Bill suspends insolvency proceedings for payment defaults by companies for 6 months. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman asserts it does not provide protection to unscrupulous elements. And Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu reminds members of precautionary and remedial measures to be followed in Parliament. Report of the Public Accounts Committee presented in Rajya Sabha. Members also paid tributes to former member of Rajya Sabha, Nazneen Farooq. Rajya Sabha passed the Epidemic Diseases Amendment Bill 2020 on Saturday. The legislation is aimed at protecting healthcare workers fighting the COVID-19 disease outbreak in the country by criminalizing attacks on medical workers.
Replying to the debate on the bill in the upper house, Union Health Minister Harshvardhan said the bill aims to protect medical professionals. The bill amends the 125 years old Epidemic Diseases Act 1897 that protects health workers in the country. It further makes any crime against health professionals a cognizable and non-bailable offence. Offenders can also be fined anywhere between 50,000 rupees to 2 lakh rupees. They could also face a prison term ranging between 3 months and 5 years. If an act of violence against a healthcare service personnel causes grievous harm, the offender will be punishable with imprisonment between 6 months and 7 years and a fine between 1 lakh rupees and 5 lakh rupees. In the case of damage or loss of property, the compensation payable to the victim will be twice the amount of the fair market value of the damaged or lost property as determined by the court. Earlier in April, the government brought the Epidemic Diseases Amendment Ordinance to provide protection to healthcare personnel combating epidemic diseases and to expand the powers of the central government to prevent the spread of such diseases.
Members of various parties participated in the discussion, praising doctors and other healthcare workers combating COVID-19 outbreak from the front line. Members stressed the doctors and healthcare workers were not just serving patients, but serving humanity. Listen in.
अगर हम उन पर हमला करते हैं, अगर हम उन पर दुर्व्यवहार करते हैं, तो जो व्यक्ति अपने स्वास्थ्य की चिंता किए बिना आपके लिए लगातार खड़ा है, उसका मनोबल गिरता है, उसके परिवार का मनोबल गिरता है। ऐसे महामारी के समय में कोई व्यक्ति सामने आने का साहस नहीं कर पाएगा। सरकार ने उनके साहस, उनके मनोबल को बनाए रखने के लिए ही ये विषय रखे हैं।
Bengal has the Clinical Establishment Regulatory Commission headed by a High Court judge. 2017, it has capped private hospitals overcharging patients and all the tests. Why did you consider this, sir? Health insurance. Your health insurance, like our health insurance in Bengal, is 10 lakhs of rupees. Only healthcare workers, ward boys, ward girls. Okay, good. What about the allied workers? In Bengal, the allied workers are also covered.
विशेष परिस्थितियां हों, असामान्य परिस्थितियां हों, तो गवर्नमेंट को किसी पर रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगाने का अधिकार होता है। ये नहीं कि वो केवल सरकारी लोगों पर ही लगा सकते। सरकारी हो या गैर सरकारी, कोई भी इस तरह के अस्पतालों में निश्चित करना चाहिए कि आप इससे ज्यादा चार्ज नहीं कर सकते।
You know the conditions of the dead bodies. You know you are reading the... No, let us come out with some kind of a mechanism where the central government or government, some government or some agency takes care of it. The dead bodies were piling up in one hospital when I went there, but it must end somewhere. So this also must be taken into consideration as far as the concerned, sir.
The Upper House also passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2020 by voice vote. Replying to the discussion, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said IBC had been successful in reducing India's stressed assets. She also apprised members about the recoveries made through the insolvency process. She in fact also asserted that the bill does not provide any protection to unscrupulous elements.
Section 7 related, which is the financial creditor, 2,789 company cases had been resolved even before they got admitted into the NCLT. And this amount which got disposed in this resolution is 1,96,171 crores. Section 9 related, which is the operational creditor related cases, sir, even before admission, and I'm giving data of 31st July 2020. 11,581 cases have been disposed of even before admission, Section 9 cases, and in this the amount which got resolved is 1,63,927 crores. And finally, sir, Section 10, corporate debtors. 140 cases were disposed of before entering the NCLT. Again, data for 31st July 2020. 1,53,372 crores have been sorted out.
The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2020 amends the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. It seeks to temporarily suspend initiation of the Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process, or CIRP, under the code. The bill replaces the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Ordinance 2020, promulgated in June this year. It provides that for defaults arising during the 6 months from 25th of March this year, CIRP can never be initiated by either the company or its creditors. The central government may extend this period to 1 year through notification. Insolvency is a situation where individuals or companies are unable to repay their outstanding debt. Participating in the debate on the bill, members sought to know if the bill seeks to protect COVID category of industries or all industries based on their performance in the past. Several members also said that with the passage of the bill, financially stressed companies will get an opportunity to work in a better ecosystem and ease of doing business will also be enhanced.
इस बिल के माध्यम से मुझे लगता है कि कोविड-19 चर्चा में है और उसकी इफेक्ट दूसरी है। जिस तरीके से कंपनियां लॉकडाउन होने के मारे कंपनियां बर्बाद हुई हैं, सर ये पता लग रहा है कि लॉकडाउन पीरियड में ही लगभग 70% जंप हुआ है इंसॉल्वेंसी कंपनियों के केसेस में। सर अभी तक 3,774 केसेस अभी तक इंसॉल्वेंसी बोर्ड ने देखे हैं।
Two things I'll quickly say. That one is under suspension section 9, 7, 9 and 10. A prohibition on voluntary insolvency proceedings of a corporate debtor in distress may result in further deterioration of his assets. I think this anomaly could be taken care of. Then is blanket ban in intentional defaults. Exempting defaults during the disruption period may lead to intentional defaults. I think that should also.
There's nothing to object about this bill. In fact, we all should support it because it has a limited objective to overcome the current crisis which we are all facing globally and in our country. But the larger issue will be that there will be some amendments required in future because of the experience in the last couple of years what we have acquired. And I think we need to go for major amendments as we move forward. Small businesses especially, madam, you must look at some kind of an interest subvention scheme for them for this moratorium period.
DMK, while welcoming the bill, feels that there is discrimination between the corporate bodies and common man. Honorable Finance Minister may kindly tell this House as to why similar treatment is not given to individuals, proprietorship entity and partnership firms who are kept in Part 3 of the IBC Code. While individual proprietorship and partnership will face insolvency proceedings during COVID-19 period, however, the corporate companies placed in Part 2 of the IBC Code alone will get the exemption. Is it not a discrimination? In the same code, why such differential treatment? Is this government only for corporate cronies?
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu on Saturday reminded members of the precautionary and remedial measures to be followed to contain the spread of COVID-19. He apprised the members of the testing facility inside the Parliament complex. The chairman also stressed on healthy habits and emphasized that wearing masks at all times should be non-negotiable.
Wearing the mask whenever you meet a person outside your house. Second is safe distance. And third one is hygiene, maintain hygiene, washing your hands, cleaning them with Dettol or whatever it is from time to time. The fourth thing is about the need to keep immunity levels of your body.
Special mentions were made in the upper house on Saturday. Let's take a look at the issues that were raised.
Request the central government to demand the central government to scrap the decision to shift the regional office of NHDC from Kannur to Bangalore. While the handloom sector is in a crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is heard and it is decided that the regional office of the National Handloom Development Corporation.
Swing trends are noticed in the composition of the Supreme Court. For the past few years, there's a declining representation from all sections of society in the Supreme Court. Chairman, sir, I'm placing this entire text. I'm only asking Parliament must step in to ensure social justice and diversity in the appointment of judges to the Supreme Court.
And the upper house on Saturday condoled the demise of former member Nazneen Farooq. She represented the state of Assam in the upper house. The house remembered her contribution and observed silence in memory of the departed soul.
A social worker, Srimati Farooqi, was actively associated with many social and cultural bodies. She worked assiduously for the upliftment of poor and the downtrodden and took special interest in the welfare of women. In the passing away of Srimati Nazneen Farooqi, the country has lost dedicated social worker and an able parliamentarian. We deeply mourn the passing away of Srimati Nazneen Farooqi.
And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time.